Welcome back to Grammar Grade 12. I'm really glad you're here. This is Unit 11, Lesson 77, and today we're all about the comma. Specifically, the commas that set off the parts of a sentence you could lift right out. Non-essential clauses and phrases, mild interjections, parenthetical asides, and those heavier connectors called conjunctive adverbs. It sounds like a lot, but there's a single, simple idea tying it all together. And once you see it, every comma will feel obvious. Let's get started. Before we dive in, here's the big picture. Every comma in this lesson does one job. It fences off a part of the sentence that you could lift right out. That part might be a non-essential element, a clause or phrase adding extra detail. It might be a mild interjection, like well or oh. It might be a parenthetical aside, such as of course or in fact. Or it might be a conjunctive adverb, like however, interrupting the flow. Different names, but one idea underneath. If a piece can be lifted out and the sentence still stands, we fence it off with commas. Keep that picture in mind and everything else follows. Let's begin with the heart of this lesson, non-essential versus essential. Look at this sentence. My sister, who lives in Denver, is visiting. The subject is my sister. The clause, who lives in Denver, just adds extra removable detail. Because I already know which sister I mean, that clause is non-essential, so we fence it off with a pair of commas. Watch. Lift it out, and the core still stands. My sister is visiting. Now compare an essential clause. The student who scored highest won. Here, who scored highest is doing real work. It tells us which student won. Remove it, and the meaning collapses. That clause identifies, so it takes no commas at all. The rule in one breath. Extra information gets commas. Identifying information gets none. So here's the simplest test in all of punctuation. Take the sentence, my sister who lives in Denver is visiting, and try to lift the middle part out. Remove who lives in Denver, and what remains? My sister is visiting. The core sentence survives, perfectly clear on its own. That tells you the clause was just an aside, extra information riding along. When a phrase lifts out cleanly and the sentence still makes sense, it's non-essential, and non-essential elements get commas. If pulling it out breaks the meaning, keep it and use no commas. One quick lift decides it every time. Now to some smaller, friendlier commas. A mild interjection is a little word that shows feeling before the real sentence begins. Well, oh, yes, why? Because it stands slightly apart from the sentence, we set it off with a comma. Well, that changes everything. Oh, I hadn't noticed the time. Yes, I'd love to come. Hear that tiny pause after the interjection? That pause is the comma. So when a sentence opens with one of these mild interjections, drop one comma right after it and move on. Next, parenthetical expressions. These are the little asides we toss into a sentence, the way you might lower your voice for a side comment. Of course, in fact. For example, I think, to be honest. They interrupt the main idea, so they get a comma on both sides, like handles lifting them out. The plan, of course, needs approval. Dinner, I think, is nearly ready. The museum, for example, opens at noon. Notice how each aside sits snugly between two commas. If you can drop the phrase and the sentence rolls on unchanged, wrap it in commas. Finally, conjunctive adverbs, the heavier connectors like however, therefore, moreover, and consequently. When one of these drops into the middle of a clause, interrupting the flow, it takes a comma on each side. The results, however, surprised us. Her argument, moreover, was convincing. But watch this second job. When a conjunctive adverb joins two complete clauses, it needs a semicolon before it and a comma after. She trained hard, therefore she won. For today, focus on the first case. Whenever, however, therefore, or moreover interrupts a single clause, hug it with a pair of commas. Let's turn everything into a quick check. 1. Can you lift the element out and still have a whole sentence? If yes, it's non-essential. Use commas. 2. Does the element identify which one you mean? If it's doing that job, it's essential. No commas. 3. Is it a mild interjection or a parenthetical aside, like well or of course? Then set it off. And 4. Is it a conjunctive adverb interrupting the clause, like however? Give it a comma on each side. 4 quick questions and the commas fall right into place. Let's practice. Here's your first set. Each sentence has an element in the middle, and your job is to decide. Is it essential, part of identifying what we're talking about, or non-essential, just extra detail? Essential takes no commas. Non-essential gets a pair. Pause the video and decide before I reveal each answer. My grandfather, who served in the Navy, tells wonderful stories. Should who served in the Navy be fenced off or left alone? You have only one grandfather, so the clause simply adds color. It doesn't tell us which grandfather. That makes it non-essential, so we set it off. My grandfather, who served in the Navy, tells wonderful stories. The woman who found my wallet returned it untouched. Do we add commas around who found my wallet? Try lifting it out. The woman returned it untouched. Now we don't know which woman. The clause is identifying her, so it's essential, and essential clauses take no commas at all. Leave it exactly as written. Our new coach, a former Olympic sprinter, starts on Monday. That phrase, a former Olympic sprinter, renames the coach and adds a detail we could remove. Our new coach starts on Monday still works on its own, so it's a non-essential appositive, and it needs commas. Our new coach, a former Olympic sprinter, starts on Monday. Now the second set. These sentences hide an interjection, a parenthetical aside, or a conjunctive adverb. Decide where the commas belong. Pause and choose before I answer. Well, I suppose we could leave a little early. That opening well is a mild interjection, a bit of feeling before the real sentence starts. It needs a single comma right after it. Well, I suppose we could leave a little early. The second option, in fact, costs far less. The phrase in fact is a parenthetical aside. Lift it out and the sentence still stands. The second option costs far less. Because it interrupts, it needs a comma on each side. The second option, in fact, costs far less. The bridge, however, was closed for repairs. Here, however, drops into the middle of the clause, interrupting it. A conjunctive adverb used that way takes a comma on each side. The bridge, however, was closed for repairs. Let's gather what we've learned. First, non-essential clauses, phrases, and appositives, the parts you can lift right out, get fenced off with commas, while essential elements that identify what you mean take none. Second, mild interjections like well and oh, along with parenthetical asides like of course and in fact, are set off with commas because they stand a little apart. And third, a conjunctive adverb such as however or therefore, when it interrupts a clause, takes a comma on each side. The single thread through all of it. If you can lift the piece out and the sentence still stands, Fence it off with commas. Next time, in Lesson 78, we'll look at commas and introductory phrases, the commas that come after an opening word or phrase to ease us into the main sentence. I'll see you there.